Hi there, you found Queen V Crafts, my channel all about my crafting life. My name is Eve, my pronouns are she, her, and today is Flosstube episode number 23. Today is the 27th of April 2025, and I am excited to catch up with y'all today. This is going to be kind of a wrap up of my April and what I was able to get done. My dog is in here today. She's not usually in the room when I film videos. So she's sniffing away at things that I have in bags. So we'll see how crinkly that is. Hopefully it's not a huge distraction. I've got a little bit of everything again today. I have 2 finishes. I have a start and 4 WIPs. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. So I finished another part of the Heart and Hand seasonal birds. I finished Springbird. I still need to put the button on. I do have the button for this pattern. So I will put that one on and then call this one completely done. But all of the stitching is done. I've decided I want to leave the back stitching out of the egg. So that's going to be the case. This egg fill-in, it was a lot. I did do kind of a color conversion on this one. And I think I may have posted this on my Instagram, so check that out if it's not there and you're interested. Go ahead and send me a direct message. So I started this one on March 19th, 2024, which is the equinox, or was the equinox. And I finished this one April 15th of this year. I have no idea how many finishes this is for the year. I think it's only like 3. Because even though I count the finishes for my round robins as finishes here on Flosstube, I don't count them as finishes in my regular tally. I probably should, because they are an accomplishment. But yeah, I don't think I said this is Springbird by Heart and Hand. I think I did say that. But the fabric is 36 count platinum, and I used 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads. And yeah, I was using the hashtag Season of the Bird Sal. So I only have autumn left of these to do. So I'm super excited to have this one completed as well. Alright, next finish is my portion. I have to figure out a better place to toss these things. There. In my round robin with the Millennial Fabrics Facebook group, so we are all stitching Rosetta from Ink Circles, and I currently have Suzette's piece. Where's the paper that tells me things? Suzette has chosen to stitch on 36 count vanilla bean. She put down 1 strand over 2. I probably would have done 2 if this was my piece, but I do think that 1 strand is looking really, really lacy and delicate on this 32 count. So this is mine. I chose to stitch mine with Karen water lilies in Distant Hills. Throwing things around. It's this beautiful purple and green variegated silk. And kind of pull this down a little bit so you can see everyone who has stitched on this so far. This is the full height of the piece. This is the top left-hand corner. So we've got two more here, and then it'll be the full width. But this one is so beautiful. I'll come in close so you can see the variegation on that one. So beautiful. I'm very happy with how my stitching turned out on this one. I am pretty late in terms of like the mailing rotation that we were trying to keep up with, so that one will go out as soon as I can, hopefully. So I'm filming this Sunday, hopefully tomorrow. If I can get over to the post office before work, I will do that. Alrighty, new start. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen that Lola Crow put out her new stitch along. I am super excited for Extraordinary Birds. Am I going to keep up with it? Absolutely not. But I did get a start on this piece. Let me put a couple clips on here so that it actually, you know, stays on my board. This is 40 count Luna Moth from Stitch Me. So I'm using one strand over two, and I have a dog licking my foot. Please stop. I started at the top center. I measured my fabric so that I have plenty all around. Started at the top center and working my way down with the 310. This is the start of the Dracula Parrot, and I'm very excited to get that one in. I probably should continue to work this side down so that I can get the bottom in, because I think what Amy had said, that the first clue is going to be down here in the bottom. So maybe I can try and work on this to get it down there, but again, I am not going to beat myself up over not keeping up with this stitch along. I still have Deadly Aquarium as a WIP. It's just going to be another in the pile, and I love it so much. I'm very, very excited. Especially since the like accent color in the frame is like a teal color, like how this fabric is. I am very, very happy with my fabric choice here. So, Extraordinary Birds. I did pull out all of my cards that tell me things about each piece. So, not referencing them, which is super helpful. Anyways, there is that one. Next up is Court of Crows. This is a stitch along, mystery stitch along, hosted by Fine Frog Stitching. Again, woefully behind, but I am here. Hold on, let me back up. This is where it was the last time that I showed it, and where it is now. So I've been able to work down to this frame I did this clue and this clue and this clue. I think this has been released. This frame has been released. So I have a thread in here. I'm working on this frame now. This was what my random spinner picked for me to work on during April in terms of my cells. So at the end here, I will spin that again and pick a new cell to work on this month. If I feel drawn to pull this one back out, I will do that, but it is probably going to go away for a little bit. And yeah, there's quarter crows. Quarter crows I'm stitching on 20 count Ada from Fiber on a Whim. This is raspberry. 1 strand over 1 Ada square, called for DMC, and I love it. Beautiful. Perfect, 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 as some may say. Alrighty. Next is the piece that I'm working on in terms of temperature stitching. I am pulling out Stardew Valley as close to every day as I can and putting in the amount of stitches that correlate to the predicted lows in Fahrenheit. I am in Texas, so sometimes that's, 60, 70, 80 stitches a day, which is totally doable. I have gotten a little bit behind, but I will say that motivation of like, I only need to do like 50, 60, maybe 70 stitches a day has gotten me significant progress. So I will show you where I was the last time and now where I've gotten to. I am stitching this one on 16 count easy grid with the called for DMC 2 strands over 1, and I'm parking, working in diagonals. Does it change anything if I hold my board behind it? Let's find out. Maybe a little bit. So this is a crazy amount of magnets. I don't actually need all of these to hold my fabric. It's not that big a piece. It's very actually small, relatively, for full coverage pieces. I have these because when I'm stitching in like a section, right, I thread the needles for the threads that I'm going to be working. And it gets really annoying when I have them all on the same needle minder because they get all tangled. So what I'll end up doing is like stretching strands around the project that I have needles on, and that's how I end up stitching. So this looks a little crazy. There is a method to the madness, I promise. I'm really happy with how I am working through this one. These stitches are kind of odd. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. We're a little close to be thinking about it. So mountains are coming in, the forest is coming in. I am very excited to see more of this come to life. So there is my Stardew Valley. Alrighty. WIP Go. So far, April's not over, but I have only so far stitched on No Time Like the Present. I plan on working on Candy, which was my other WIP Go call, today and the rest of like this week of April. But I have to show you No Time Like the Present right now. Here is where it was the last time. I'll put, I guess, because it's long and skinny, up here, maybe, or down here. Put it up there. It's kind of getting longer. Maybe I'll hold it back here and put picture over here. We'll see. The picture of where it was before is somewhere on the screen. And I've gotten to here, I think. Is there any other stitching? Oh yeah, there sure is. Why did I fold it like that? Sorry for this chaos. No, I shouldn't be apologizing, because like, I'm sure you all don't care. You're stitching, most likely. But I did get all the way down to here on the side, marking more of the darker color now first. I love this so much. Very happy with my color choices. This fabric is 18 count, very light pewter from Witchelt. And I'm using 2 strands over 1. And there are 2 DMCs, 3847 and 3849. And yeah, that's how it's looking so far. Full fabric. I think I have, with this side, reached the halfway point. I think like this X right in here is halfway, give or take. So it's getting there. I am honestly unsure how people keep up with these and stitch them in a year, but I am working on it and I'm loving it, and every time it gets called for WIP Go, I enjoy pulling it out and working on it, and yeah, there's no time like the present. Alright, I have one WIP left to show you, and that is the piece that I pulled out for Earth Day. It is Take Care from Cross Stitch for the Earth by Congdon, or Stitchrovia, as some other people may know her. I barely stitched on this one, I will say. I think I only did a little bit of fill in, and I'm gonna fix one of my pin stitches before I show you where I got to. And over here is where it was last time. I need to figure out a way to get this into a digital format. I am having such a hard time doing full coverage-esque stitching with a paper pattern, which is why this one, I think I only filled in the blue in the R. I started to count and do a little bit more of the banner. It was hurting my head too much, so I put this one down promptly and went back to stitching on Rosetta so that I could get it done. But I did get a little bit, so I wanted to show it to you. This one, I really need to, I don't want to say I really need to focus on it. I started this one last Earth Day, and this is as much as I've gotten done in a year. So it does need some more work, and I think going forward, I would like to try and more limit my starts and like focus on a piece a month or something to get more progress. So that's my little tangent on tiny progress. This one is on 36 count Winter Moon by Zweigart with the Call for DMC with one strand. And yeah, there's my R. Middle of Earth. Alright. And that's all of the cross stitch that I have to show. I might see if I can figure out how to put timestamps in, because I do have a little bit of knitting, so maybe I'll show that now, and then we'll do plans, and then we'll do haul. So I take my knitting, I'm knitting socks with me when I go to work, and these are what I do on my lunch break. So I'll eat, and then whatever time I have left, I will knit. So I am here on this set of socks, or on this sock, I should say. This is the yarn that I went and bought at the Modern Skein when Kat came to visit me, Whittier Stitches. The red, I think, is called Maple, and this pale, it's very like a pale pink actually, but neutral color is Nudie Patootie. And it's got like this really pretty speckling in it that really goes well with, don't mind this chaos. But I did a 2x2 cuff on this one. I don't remember how many I cast on, it's in my notes somewhere. For the leg, I am doing 9 knit stitches and then 1 purl, and it's giving me this really cool texture that I like a lot. Yeah, so that's as far as I got on the sock, or have gotten on this sock. I can probably do like a round when I'm sitting on my lunch break. Like, that's how few stitches I can get in. I'm not a fast knitter. So there is sock number 1. Sock number 2 is, I think I showed last time, that I was going to do with this Midnight Orchid, I think is what it's called, one of the patent Croystock yarns. Here's my cuff, the start of my cuff. This is a 1x1 rib, 1x1 cuff. And this one I'm doing is a true vanilla sock. So let's see, 10, 15. I think I have like 4 more rounds until I can start the leg, and that'll just be straight knit stitches, so stockinette. And it should go quicker than this sock because I'm not having to count how many stitches I've done. and then have to purl one. So we'll see how that one goes. I did buy a yarn winder. Michaels has hand crank yarn winders now. I have not found them before, but we have them now. So I bought one so that I could cake the skein, because I could not get a center pole out of this one. It was bizarre. I don't know. I did buy some larger gauge needles. I'm going to attempt a scarf. It should be really easy, right? Like, I started with a harder project, socks. So we'll see. That's where my knitting is. And let's talk plans. I'm gonna try and carefully move my books around here. So plans for May, and I guess the rest of April. This is my games and challenges book. So I have WIP Go, Pick-A-WIP, I Spy, the Crafts and Books Acrostic, and my temperature stitching. Pick-A-WIP, the two prompts were a 2023 start and bright or colorful fabric. I decided I wanted to stick Stardew Valley in as my 2023 start and Court of Crows as my bright colorful fabric. I was only able to complete 1, 2, 3 I Spy prompts. I will get number 2, which starts with C for candy, by the end of April. So there is those. I did work on Court of Crows for my Sal a month. Was only able to complete 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the Crafts and Books Acrostic, which was Earth Day. And then I have my temperature stitching, so I put in the temperatures. Yeah, so I did start to set up May. We did get the WIP Go calls. They are 19, which for me is the Lunar Witch. I'll put in a picture somewhere of where I am. So starting point on that one. And How Doth the Little Busy Bee, which is by Modern Folk Embroidery. Lunar Witch is by Autumn Lane. There somewhere is what How Doth the Little Busy Bee looks like. Pick-A-WIP prompts, I Spy prompts, the Crafts and Books Acrostic, all have not been pulled yet. But as soon as they are, I will put them in here. Let's go ahead and fire up my tablet and do my Sal. I guess I need to add Extraordinary Birds to this. Hold, please. Okay. There is my wheel. Let's find out what I'm doing for May. Hello? What is happening? Alright, I'm going to hold, please. I'm gonna reset and spin this again. Disregard. Let's go again. Empyrean Sal. This is a ongoing sale hosted by Forbidden Fiber Co. And yeah, I think I'm like halfway done with the pre-stitching. I'm like not with it at all, not there. So that'll be fun to have like the focus of stitching on that one for May. Cool. Where's my pen? Or a pen? Sal a month, we're doing Empyrean. Sweet. Alrighty. Well, that's exciting. Let's really quick, I do have the other round robins. So I received, I'm gonna crinkle here for a second. I received the next Millennial round robin. This one is Terry's, and Terry has decided to stitch theirs in all of the same color. So we're all going to use DMC Etoile 823, and this one is on 18 count oat milk from Millennial Fabrics. So I am very excited to stitch on this one, and because I don't have to do 1X at a time because it is not variegated, I should go a lot faster on this one. And I'm very excited to stitch on that one. The other round robin that I received this a while back, so Andy, if you're watching, it did arrive, is the round robin that I'm doing with Andy, the Crow Stitcher, Samantha, Kansas City Stitcher, Beck from Beckspin, and Kat from Wicked Cat Stitch. I think it's just those four. And I now have Kat's project. This fabric is beautiful. I believe Kat dyed it herself. That's what does the paper say? Yes, Kat dyed this beautiful purple. And here are the two so far. I think I might put mine on this side. So we'll have to do some counting and calculating to get the feet to be on the same line, and Kat wants us to put this purple in somewhere, but then to use the called for colors. So I'm very excited to mess around with that one here shortly. And let's see, is that everything? That's all stitchy stuff. Let's quickly talk haul. I have the April floss pack from Thread the Needle Stitchery and Athena, Stitching Goddess Designs. Here's what it's inspired by and the colors, and beautiful purples. Very excited to add those to my stash. I received the rest of my Nashville order from Millennial fabrics that didn't show up the first round. So Strawberry Goose Witch is finally here. She's beautiful. I love her. And also Sarah had ordered a ton of this chart by accident, and I was like, yes, please, I will take another imprint from Heart and Hand. I love it. So this is a Stitch and Maker. So there are those two patterns. Also from Nashville, I ordered needle minders. These ones are from Flamingo Toes. So we've got the Plant Chop. We've got the Bookshop. Magnet. And this really pretty floral sheep. And the floral chicken. So pretty, so adorable. I love. And the last thing that I've purchased is a project bag. Sarah does lives in her Facebook group, and the couple of vendors who sent her bags to purchase, she'll show them, you can claim them. I went and said I wanted this bag. It's got the cutest, like, baking pink. I think she was calling this the strawberry milk bag, but it's more like tea and like tea, milk, sugar in this really pretty pink. This one is from Boulder Valley Stitching. That's the company that made this bag, and I really love this interior fabric. This one is vinyl front. I do have a couple other vinyl front bags. I think personally I prefer full fabric bags, but this fabric was too cute to resist. I think Strawberry Milk that I started at the Nash Dash Startathon is going to live in here until I get it done. So there is that. Alrighty, that's everything I have for haul. Crazy, right? Not a lot of purchasing going on. I do have quite a bit on its way to me. Stitch Me had another ready to ship. This one was neutrals, and I do not have a ton of neutrals in my stash, so I went a little bit overboard. But I got all 40 count, so the hope is that, you know, I'm not using an entire fat quarter of 40 count for a project. I don't typically stitch things that large. And I'll be able to use it for a lot of different projects. So that is it, I think. I am hopeful that I can get some more good stitching in this coming month. It is going to be a little bit busy. My nephew turns 2. My family's visiting the end of May, and in between there I will be working, so I am hopeful that I'll get some good stitching in, and then we'll be able to check back in the end of May. Oh, another plan I have for May before I let y'all go. Manning May is happening again, so I will pull out my Carolyn Manning piece. And also Mira May, so I might pull out my Nora Corbett. May is also Memorial Day, and I was hoping to try and get We Remember done by Memorial Day. That one has not gotten enough work. I might be able to focus on it and get it done before then. But I have so many projects that I would like to get done, and we'll see. Plans are flexible. I at least have like inspiration, you know, the stuff for I Spy, the stuff for Crafts and Books, all is just inspiration of like, here's the things that you really need to be working on, and then I pull out a couple of extra things that are fun. Yeah. All right, I will let you all go now. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, I would super appreciate it if you liked, commented, subscribed. I know there's a ton of other content out there, and I am so thankful that you have joined me today. And I'll see you at the end of May for another update. And yeah, until then, happy stitching.
I'm just as surprised as you.